Hi, I'm Kyle Hancock. I am a licensed psychologist, and today I'm here with Yada Yada. One of the common questions I am often asked when I'm working with small children is, what do I do when my child tantrums? I am a father, and I have children at my own home who tantrum. Science has demonstrated a very specific and often very effective tool to respond to tantrums. Unfortunately, it's one of those tools that is very easy to describe and very difficult to do. The science principle is called specific attention or active ignoring. Small children communicate with their behavior. Adults, however, communicate with language. We use logic as adults, we use analysis as adults, and we use rationale. And it works wonderfully. We can explain why it is important, for example, to be patient to each other, even though it's hard to do. We can explain why it's important to demonstrate gratitude, even though we may not feel it genuinely all of the time. With small children, however, the part of their brain responsible for developing that understanding simply has not yet developed. So they use tantrums most often as their primary communication device. An oversimplification is that children often use tantrum either to get what they want or to avoid what they don't want. Unfortunately, quite often as parents and as caregivers, we unintentionally give children what they most want in response to their tantrums, and that is our attention and our emotion. So the simple response is to purposefully and precisely remove all of your attention from the tantrum behavior. It's very similar to the red light, green light game I played as a child. When the tantrum begins, in my mind flashes a red light, a reminder. It is time for me to simply walk away, close my mouth, say nothing, and do nothing. So long as I can observe the child and ensure her or his safety, I simply move away from the child with no response to their tantrum behavior. The moment I see any behavior that I want, whether it's catching my breath and being quiet, sitting up off from the floor, or even just no longer kicking and hitting the floor, then the green light flashes in my mind, and I turn my attention again to the child, and I find something about the child's behavior I can praise. I look for a specific behavior and I identify it. Something like, "Thank you so much for lowering your voice." Or, "I notice that your feet and your hands are now still. I love it when they're still like that." Or, "I am so glad you're showing me you're ready to listen. You're now sitting up and your voice is quiet." By identifying behavior we want to see and responding to that behavior with praise and encouragement, we are showing that same metaphorical green light to our child. We are teaching the child without any words. This is the behavior that I want to see. And by walking away and temporarily removing our attention, we are showing very powerfully the red light. This behavior, unfortunately, will result in a loss of my attention. Sometimes it is tempting as a parent simply to give in to a tantrum. I know I've done it. To the best we can, however, whenever possible, do your best to walk away. Ignore the tantrum entirely and wait until you see a desirable behavior that you can put your attention toward. Be prepared, however. If your child has been tantruming for a long period of time, those tantrums can last for a very, very long time. It is not out of the ordinary in my practice to see a child who will yell or hit or scream for 30 minutes or even more when we begin. However, the most important tool in your arsenal is consistency. The more as parents we can consistently ignore undesirable behavior and purposefully attend to desirable behavior, the faster the change will happen. This is one of those interventions that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time at the beginning and provides a long, long span of changed behavior. An irony as you use this specific tool is what we call an extinction burst. What this means is a child is basically determined if I throw a tantrum, typically I get what I want from my parent or caregiver. And when the caregiver or parent no longer gives the child what he or she wants, the child does this behavior called an extinction burst, which is, I'm going to tantrum louder, longer, and better, because eventually you're going to give in. The irony of this experience is that your child is telling you, hey, what you're doing is having an impact on my routine. I don't like this. I want it to be the old way. So I'm going to throw a bigger, better, longer, louder tantrum. If as a parent or a caregiver you can remember, oh yeah, this is a sign that what I'm doing is working. It may not reduce the volume of your child's cries or the frustration of having your child engage in behavior that's very unpleasant. However, it should give you hope that what you are doing is making a difference. Be prepared to wait the child out, and remember, this child's only object in life at this developmental stage is to get what she wants, when she wants it, or to get what she doesn't want, to get out of what she doesn't want, when she doesn't want it. And so we have to remind ourselves our goal is simply to wait the child's tantrum out. If we will do that long enough and well enough, tantrums will reduce, I promise.